Lance Blair signing in. To my subscribers, what up? And if you're new around these parts, just stopping by to see how I do things around here, what up, what up? And I had a chance to check out Joe Budden Podcast, Family Ties with Kiss, his father and his son. And that was an interesting, dope podcast. It gave me a chance to see Kiss in the light that I don't really get a chance to see him in. And seeing his father talk, you could tell his dad was insightful, impactful, and definitely a big anchor and a mentor in his life. Like just hearing the stories about how Kiss was raised with his father. His father always been in the coffee business and he raised him and put Kiss in private school. He wanted Kiss to go the college route, but you know, kids, we got our own route and we want to do our own thing. That's what kids want to do. So he talked to him and he let his son know, like, all right, I want you to go this way, but Kiss was like, I just want to do this rap thing. Just give me 1 year and we could see what it could turn into. So Kiss was going around doing this music thing, and he was like, X would come to the house, and he was like, X, he was cool with. He knew somebody who was one of my friends who was at the detention center from him getting in trouble. And like, as Kiss kept going around, a person was telling his dad, like, your son gonna be a star. He was telling him things of that nature, and Kiss' dad was like, when they got one of the contracts, the person told him, yo, this is one of the worst contracts ever. And he was like, when Kiss got old enough, they signed the contract and did what they wanted to do. And he was talking about how Sheek, Styles, and Kiss, they all went to private school together. And Kiss was like, sometime during we was going to the school, Styles went across the street to the jail. I was like, wow, that was crazy. But Jada, his father and his son, they in business together. They have some coffee business together, and I think it's dope because coffee one of those beverages that's one of the most beverages that people drink, and it got a lot of positives about it. The way it helped people stay focused, it helped people stay up, and I just think it's dope. You could tell like the way his father into it. You could tell like he's in it, he's really focused in, and it's not a money grab where it's like, oh, Jadakiss my son, I get him to stamp my name on it, his name on it, and we can go to new heights. You could tell like, and then with his son being so young, and he went to Clark, Atlanta, and he know a lot about, like, you know, he was in the college grind and people studying for finals and midterms where you trying to stay up all day, all night to be focused in. So I think coffee is definitely great, but just this podcast was so dope and it gave insights on Jada upbringing and like just hearing them talk about the Verzuz and how his preparation for that was. Like he said, if Jada was like, if you on this team, everybody got like a plan that they got to go out. He started constructing playlists and he let you hear it. He getting insight from, hey, my cousin all the way out of Missouri, St. Louis, I'm gonna get some insight from him. And he started constructing the artist playlist that he going against. He listening and he like, all right, so when they do this, I could counter with this. All right, so when they play this, I could come back with that. So I was like, oh, you could really tell too. Like even they started talking about the Fab and Kiss verses, and I like both of them. Two of them my favorite MCs, and I really didn't think Kiss was gonna run away with Fab like that in the verses, but you could tell from the preparation that Kiss was just on a different level, and his dad was like, Kiss was a little too drunk, and he was like, I ain't like that. Then he started putting the connotations with the coffee and, you know, the drunk, so the way this can help you, you know, sober up. So then they went into the Locks versus Dipset, and they started talking about that, the way they countered, and you could tell Kiss just was in rare form with that. I got a past video talking about that versus where I broke it down and my thoughts on that. And then they started talking about a lot of our favorite conversations, the top 5. And Kiss, you know, he always saying top 5 dead or alive. And how about Budden said Kiss not even in his top 5 when it comes to lyrics and stuff like that, I like this type of debate because it just depends on where you from, where you grew up at. When you start listening to music that influence your top 5, and I just think with my top 5, it's so interchangeable, but I think we gotta start breaking up the top 5 and like sections, like some kind of way, like years, like early 2000, like 2000 to 2010 or 2000 to 2005, because when we just throwing everybody in there together, a lot of them spots already accounted for, where it's like on the level like, alright, you know, Biggie got a spot. You know, Jay-Z, Tupac, Nas, and you know, even for the older cats, they gonna throw KRS-One in there, Rakim, people like that. So I think it'll be hard for someone like a J. Cole to come in and get a spot. So that's why I think, you know, we should break it up. And then my top 5, it just, you know, depends on where I'm at the moment. But Kiss, him, my top 5. Let me know below who are some of the people in your top 5, and should we start breaking up the top 5? Because this top 5 argument, man, this just had, you know, had us in a frenzy, just period. When you putting your top 5, the way it becomes so hard to even calculate and see. And then Kiss Pops made an input when he was like, it's just no real top 5. It just depends on where you from and all that, where you grew up at. And you know, it's no definite way you could look at something and be like, all right, this person is number 1. It turns into the debate with basketball where it's like, all right, LeBron is number 1, Michael Jordan is number 1, Kobe is number 2. Like, it turned into all that. Kobe is number 1. So when people say my top 5 is their top 5, man, you gotta remember too, when it comes to music and things like that, people's songs help people get through certain things. People music help them in certain parts of life where, you know, this song boosts my confidence where I could talk to the girl I really liked, or, you know, even for the women, this song boosts my confidence where, you know, this guy, when he talked to me, I was able to listen to him, and, you know, so that's what I think of that. So that's why I think with the top 5 debate, it's hard to really get a definite answer. And with the top 5, you want to be respected within your peers in the music game and the consumers. Let me know below in the comments what you thought of that podcast. What's some things that you learned about Kiss that you didn't know? And until next time, peace.